Welcome back to the fourth and final episode of this maintenance client series as we dive into cleaning the interior of this car with the products and equipment that we reviewed in the last episode. So let's get started. Now, a quick review of just the products and equipment that we're going to use for this particular interior. I'm going to use the Super Shine or the Shine All to do the Husky Liner floor mats, Leather Magic to cover the leather seats. Dealer's choice here today, I'm going to use the vanilla on this for a little bit of spritzer for a little bit of scent in there. The interior ceramic to coat the front floors where the driver and passenger, mainly the main people that are in this car, as this car does not carry really any passengers in the back. So that'll be on the carpeting to give it more protection. I'm stepping that up from the fabric guard from the last time. My glass cleaner, the interior cleaner from Jack's Wax. I pulled out the full strength Super Clean to clean the Husky liners, being salt covered and all, and just got the drill brushes and the driver basically to help clean the floor mats. They're the dirtiest thing in here. And then just the vacuum attachments that I know I'm just gonna need only. And then of course, just my dry vac. That's all I'm gonna need. This car is not over the top as far as beat up and needing to be reconditioned. So it's just keeping it clean. This is what makes the maintenance series. What I've been pointing out is keeping the car clean. It is easier to get in and out very quickly. I figure a total time on a normal clean would be about 30 minutes. I am going to pull out the Bissell Spot Clean Pro, and the reason is I just want to hit the driver's side carpeting, and I just the carpet has never been extracted. I just want to see if there is any dirt or debris in there that may need to be pulled up. And I'm not going to do the whole car, just that side. If it looks good, I'm just going to leave the rest of the carpeting alone. And lastly, I grabbed my blowgun from my air compressor to get into around the nooks and crannies where the bezels are to the AC vents and louvers. So that will bring in and get under the seats. Again, let's get started, but I just wanted to go over that. Let's review. I already took the Husky liner out, set it over there to be washed over by the power washer. As I've stated, the car is well kept and maintained. So the first thing I'm gonna do, and I recommend this to many, but when I schedule these, I let the customer know to unload or take out any of their personal effects and anything else I run across. In the center console, cup holders, change, what have you, or here in the center console, I put those in a plastic like grocery bag, but I bag them up and then I just set them there on the passenger seat and I let them know. So that way everything's accountable. But I just don't throw anything away that is left here from the customer, and they are told ahead of time. That way I'm not stumbling into private possessions, anything I shouldn't be seeing. So I just want to make that statement now before we get going. This car should go very quick, so not much, but I'll just show you. Just gonna run the vacuum over. I'll hit the extractor on that real quick. Just wipe it down, wipe the glass. Okay, I grabbed the detail brushes. I forgot to put those in the review, but yes, we use these for this. Now with this being a maintenance client's vehicle, it is already pretty well maintained and cleaned. Therefore, this is gonna be pretty uneventful just getting through and cleaning this. Like I said, about 30 minutes to do an interior like this, start to finish. So we're gonna use the interior clean. I like using these detail brushes on places like these air vents to get inside. As I stated before, I used to use Q-tips to get down in here, and especially around the buttons. And then what I'll do is I'll follow up with the air compressor, the blowgun, and blow through here. And that'll help get any and all of the remaining stuff I don't get with the detail brush. The one thing about the Jax Wax Interior Clean is when you have a face like this, especially on these newer vehicles with like a tablet screen for your Wi-Fi and apps, it will not ruin that face, discolor it, or fog it out. So that's why I really stick with a good known product that will back me up if something does like that or get damaged like that. So I want to make that statement also, because sometimes people will just grab, if you grab something like a window cleaner with ammonia, that will fog acrylic, and that could ruin your screen for all your Wi-Fi and your smart stuff in the car. So just be aware of that. Even up here on the dash. See, I like how that spreads out and gets down in there. Right down in there on the steering wheel. Not a lot of solution needs to be had on this. Being this is a client, this wheel's clean, but when these steering wheels with your hands, the oil from your hands gets built up on here, and they get all that gummy, sticky residue over time. Usually I'll get something like a small brush, toothbrush or something if I have to get in where the stitching is on the leather wrap here and clean all that out. But now that this has been cleaned and I'm staying up with this, that I can just go through real quick with the interior clean and just take my microfiber towel and just give it a good wipe down, and that'll be good. And then we'll go back over it with the leather magic. Just put some on the microfiber. I'll just give it a final wipe down around the areas I hit. Then I'll give the dash a wipe down with the microfiber. Hit the buttons and all with the blowgun. I wish they were all this easy. I'm not pulling the trigger all the way back, just enough to get some air out. I'm not going all out with it. Now with the center console, pieces like this get taken out. I'll take these out, clean these individually. When I can, I usually try to control it with putting the solution in my detail brush. right, here's another tip I'm going to give you folks that I do when I'm detailing. The weather stripping right here, it collects dirt from getting in and out of the vehicle, especially on work trucks, construction, and such. That really gets caked in there so thick that the seal is not able to do its job to keep the air noise and the water out, and eventually that sand and all that debris gets in there and it starts breaking the seal down. So I'll pull it back and I'll clean it out with the vacuum first, and then I'll give it a wipe out with a detail brush or a microfiber towel. Okay, I'm going to use this tip on the attachments. I like getting into places like that with this. And the seat tracks makes good for that too. All right, then I'm going to follow up. Just going to use my microfiber towel. As you can see, it's a little dirty. But it's definitely not extreme as many that I've seen. So we got it taken care of. But I definitely like checking those areas, whether it's a car that's being maintained like this on a regular basis or a new detail that's never seen a very thorough clean. All right, I'm gonna get this floor mat, the driver's mat, was very bad. I took it out, shook it out, a lot of salt. Wasn't able to capture that, but just gonna give it a vacuum, scrub it with the drill brush, and then we'll give it a little coating with the Shine All, and that's it. Think about these Husky liners, it's just the way they're formed. When they're in the car, that tray makes it really nice. Here in the Midwest, the salt from the wintertime, and we're talking like Thanksgiving to now here in the middle of March, we're still getting snowstorms. We're still getting salt thrown on the roads. This will just have, like, if you just dump table salt, just piles of it on here. The water, the salty water also stays retained in here too. This is such a blessing to have for carpeting if you want to keep that carpeting preserved, because even if you were to sell, or if this vehicle was to be sold and you didn't want these to go with it, you could either take them and sell them, discard them, but the new owner can look underneath these and just see the immaculate carpeting, almost like factory new. So I can't stress enough about having these. I go with the Husky liners. They're far less expensive than the WeatherTech. I have had WeatherTech in my big truck over here in the shop. The one thing I didn't like about the WeatherTech then is these grip knobbies here. This is nice on the truck. It seemed like when we got in and your feet hit this, it slid up into the firewall. The Husky liner has these on here, so they grip right into the carpeting. So that makes it nice. They don't slide around on you when you're getting in to where you're losing your footing. So we'll finish up getting this cleaned up, and then we'll jump in and get the extractor going. Alright, I'll dry this by hand, and then we'll get the Shine All on there. Okay, just gonna use, it's called Super Shine, but then they rebranded to Shine All. Still water base, as I've said before, with the Jax Wax products. I want to give a shout out. Last night, as I was relaxing, I was checking out another YouTube channel, Nick's Garage, and he's up in Toronto for the Motorama up there, and he has a 70 Challenger that he built mirrored U-code to the Kowalski Challenger from Vanishing Point. And it was amazing to see, while I'm watching him being interviewed, down along the base of his car is all this Jax Wax products. And I said to my spouse, I said, "Is that Jax Wax?" And sure enough, not even a couple minutes later, his crew had said Jax Wax had come over and gave them some products to detail out his Challenger, and I was very taken by that. You know, it's like all the way to Toronto, Ontario, and there's Jack's Wax all lined up at the bottom of his car there. So the stuff, and he was very impressed with it. I just thought, someone like him, boy, I really wish I could be close. But definitely a good shout out to Nick's Garage there. He does dyno testing, engine builds on a lot of Hemis and Mopars from back in the day. Not so much much of the modern stuff. And to be honest, I would have had these out when I washed the car and had the paint gun out doing the engine and the tires. I would have done these, but being we're doing a series here, so that's basically it. Looks good. So we're breaking out the Bissell Extractor. I'm gonna get this floor mat done, and the carpeting underneath has already been taken care of. It's clean. So we're just gonna check this out and see what this is like. If this is good, not much comes up, I'm not gonna chase all the carpeting for just a few grains of sand or dirt. As you can see right here, that's where the water's coming out. Give it a little more shot of water. You know, and that's looking really, really good. Especially right where, before the Husky liners, you could see where the heel of the car, the person's heel was sitting. That would be the worst. And I'd have to say I'm more than satisfied with that. But also I wanted to give you an insight of this being explained and used. I'm good with that. This is definitely, for a floor mat, very clean. So this is telltales that the rest of the carpeting is just outstanding. Yeah, the other alternative to cleaning before I got this extractor was using my wet vac with my drill brushes. That is really taking the hammer and chisel to something compared to having this extractor. This is an easy in and out, and that clearness right there, that really tells me a lot. One of the videos that you would see in the past with the pet hair, I took 2 tankfuls out. That thing really pulled up, and I had about 1/4, 3/8 of an inch of mud in the bottom of those tanks. So this one, and we're good. But that's basically it. I'm very pleased with this, and I will actually, I'll put in there about how much we paid for this on sale. So let's get moving on. We'll let this dry, and we got a couple more things to finish up, and this vehicle is about wrapped up and ready to be sent out. Okay, we're gonna get to the rear glass, and I'm gonna just film this part. I don't think you're all really gonna find it eventful cleaning all the glass, but the tip and the point I want to show is these headrests on these sedans are pretty high up, and most people don't think of this, so I want to just suggest it as a tip. But with these up, it's hard to get back there, not only to clean the glass, but your speakers and your back end here. So what I do is I just pull, most of these sedans now come where you can just release the seat, bring the seat down, you get the headrest and all that out of the way, the backing of the seat, then you're able to get in. Now you got all the room to get in here, vacuum this up, clean your speaker covers, and get your glass. I know a lot of people would say, well, that's common sense, but you would be surprised how many people fight against that and don't think about little things like that. That the conveniences are right there in front of you, you just don't recognize it sometimes. Now what I'm going to do is just clean the speaker covers with the detail brush. Just wipe them off. I use it. I don't go heavy with the solution, just enough to get the dust, because that's all this does back here is get dusty. either from your windows being down or just the vents blowing all your wind and air back. Now I already vacuumed back here. I didn't want to go through all there wasn't much to vacuum. It went so quick, it just wasn't worth capturing. But this is some of the stuff I want to point out to you folks as you're on like I said, a 4-week, 8-week, or 12-week maintenance. This is the type of cleaning you're always gonna get. I did vacuum this back headpiece here for the speakers, and I had it on my mind what it was. Sorry, I don't have the actual technical name for it. Put it in the comments if you know. It's not rattling in my head right now. But like I said, I just want to point out this tip of bringing the seats down. Yes, this trunk is being used a lot. It was told, don't worry about it. But right here, there's a cover. I was able to get in between here and get all that vacuumed up down through here. And as you can see how nice and clean that is. That does get addressed in our detailing. So that isn't something that if you want extra, that comes with it. Anything under the seats, behind the seats where children are sitting here, food crumbs and stuff like that get down behind the seat belts and the seat belts. These will get cleaned too. And I will use the interior clean. What I do is I just bring them out and I just reel them back in. Being this vehicle doesn't have the owner doesn't have children that are riding back here, so it's just basically the driver and passenger up front I concentrate on. But like say a minivan, family vehicle, I'm definitely going to go through all the seat belts and where the seat belts click into the locks. Everything's getting done. So I just want to point that out, that it is part of the checklist as we move through the vehicle, cleaning the inside. Another tip that I've caught myself in the past, and that is with the sunroof here, if you would, people forget to clean in here. Not only the seals and around the track, but the glass itself on the inside. Doesn't need much for the solution I use. But I just want to make it light that these are things that a lot of times get overlooked. And when I clean something like this, I'll try to do like a crosshatch. It's just my OCD of doing it. And then I'll follow up. Like I said, this is pretty clean, but wasn't bad at all. And you'll find here, a lot of people will rest their hands on here and you'll find fingerprints across here. And the other thing is, here on your visors, look for a lot of dirt, especially if you're working in an environment that's not, say you're a mechanic or something where your hands are gonna have a lot of dirty oil. You're gonna find this here when they pull these visors down very dirty. Another thing is, I will use a smaller brush on my drill brush. These are not bad. But when they're bad, I will just use my drill brush just lightly with either the 10-to-1 super clean to get the oil, the black, out of this. Because these light gray really show this on this cloth and up in here. So I want to make that point and tip that this is something we do look for. This vehicle does not have that issue, but when I see it, I know what I have to do to get in here, and I'll use the super clean just in the spot treated area, agitate it with my detail brush, and or if it's really bad enough with the drill brush, and then just give it a wipe down with the microfiber, and we're golden. I'm gonna get this seat belt, address it. This sees enough every month, but I always the last thing you want to do, if you have a light colored shirt, or if a woman has a dress on, is that you have any body oils or any dirt and grease on that seatbelt that comes across and it gets on your clothing, leaves marks. You don't think about it, but I do. And I want to make sure. And the other thing too is when these are across you, and if you should be eating while you're driving and you get food spills, pop, coffee, or anything on here, definitely look for that, any staining from food or drinks. And I address that and get that taken care of and cleaned off your seatbelt. That way, like I said, it doesn't become on your clothes, and make someone feel good that they can get in their car and just feel like they're not getting filthy just sitting in their vehicle. Okay, we're gonna get the leather magic on. We're at the end of our travels here of getting this interior cleaned out. So that's the last thing I do, is the leather magic, and then work my way outside the car to the door panels where it's needed. Leather and vinyl. Leather on the shifter. I'm not rubbing hard like I'm trying to scrub it. What I'm doing is a very light massage of the leather magic onto the leather. And the same with the steering wheel. Now, I don't like taking the bottle and just putting it on all over the seat. And the reason is this seat is pleated. It has holes in it for the heated seat. And a lot of these newer vehicles also have air conditioning or venting seats. You don't want to plug these holes up. So you definitely don't want to go heavy on this stuff, but just enough. And if the seat hasn't had this, like this car gets it once a month or every other month, just depends. Condition. Now the thing about the automotive manufacturing is this leather, whether it's synthetic leather or, I think the only one, there's two vehicles. I know the King Ranch Ford pickup series is real genuine leather, and I believe it is not covered. This leather, think of leather and then think of saran wrap being wrapped around the leather. There is like a plastic or saran type covering over top of the leather on this. As you can see, with this car being 11 years old, you see the breakdown here from the plastic, and it's already wearing down the leather. That's about how leather in its natural state would look. So I just want to point that out. So to go in and attack these leather seats with a harsh cleaner all the time to get the oils is not recommended, because you'll break that plastic coating or sheeting down over top of the leather, and then you'll get this prematurely. This is 11 years. This car has been doing very well. So I'm very impressed and it only has like less than 130,000 miles on it. But for leather maintenance, be very aware and cautious how you're taking care of it and treating it. And like I said, this seat got done, I want to say 2 years ago. I stripped it and got the oils off. Now I can go through with the leather magic, and once a month I'll take the interior clean beforehand and give it a wipe down, and then run the leather magic over top of it. And that includes the headrest also, and the back of the seat. So I'll go through the back seat. As I'm doing the back seat, I get the back of the seat, and I pull all the headrest up, get down underneath. The center console. Like I said, when I took this car and did the initial leather clean, I just followed up with that interior clean. It's not as harsh as the 10-to-1 super clean, but the 10-to-1 super clean, these things were really built up with oils. And when the leather gets really shiny, that's just showing that you have a lot of oils on there that need to be stripped off. I don't want to do it again on this seat, being we're already at this stage. not to say where are we at. This is also a lot of wear of it sliding in and out. So we're gonna just continue what we're doing. And the leather magic helps keep it pliable, especially in the winter time when you're getting in and this stuff is so, the coldness makes this so hard that when you sit on this, you're able to, you know, you could crack these leather or pull the stitching. Summertime, it gives it that UV protection and from the direct sunlight. This vehicle has a sun shield in the windshield to keep, when it's sitting outside, to keep the sun from beating in and breaking down the leather and vinyl in here faster than normal. That's another highly recommended, is if your car's sitting out in the direct sunshine, put up one of those sun shields. I believe $20 or less, Walmart or a big box store, you can get one, and it's worth it. And you will find, especially in the summertime, your car's a lot cooler also. We have a little bit of leather wrap over here on the armrest of the door. If you've ever been in a leather store, a leather jacket store, and you could smell that, that's exactly how this stuff smells. It smells like a leather suede type store, and it just gives it that nice nice fragrance. So not overbearing, but enough that it gives it like a new smell, new leather smell. So that's it on this part with the leather. Now that we have the carpeting vacuumed and extracted where we needed, I'm going to give it a final protection. Instead of using the fabric guard this time through, the client wants to use the System X interior ceramic protection for carpet, fabric, leather, and vinyl. We're going to get this sprayed on. This is going to give it a 2 to 3 year protection. And in most cases, if it's just a weekend driver car, up to 5 years. For this car being a daily driven, this is going to give it a good 2 to 3 years of protection on here. Now that it's sitting on the fibers, we're just going to blotch it a little with a microfiber towel. You're going to see this being used more across the interior on our upcoming video. I've got a couple vehicles that are going to get a full ceramic interior and exteriorly, and this stuff's going to be used on all the carpeting, fabric, leather, steering wheel, anywhere where there's leather and vinyl. This is going to be used. So we're looking forward to seeing how this is going to hold up over time as daily drivers, as these vehicles are going to be coming through. So that's all that is. 20 to 30 minute dry time, 24 hours for a full cure. So we're gonna let this sit for a spell, and then we'll get the floor mats on here after we spritzer them with a little bit of vanilla. As we come to the end here, we got the seats all treated, and before I put the Husky Liner floor mats in, as I said earlier, dealer's choice, just gonna put in a little bit of fragrance. So the client said just use whatever fragrance I wanted. So this is my choice for them today. Just a little spritzer. I'm gonna do that on all the other floorboards. Here we are with the final product on this maintenance client series. Finishing up this interior. Everything turned out exceptionally well, but then this vehicle was already in the maintenance program. Easy to clean. It was no challenge. We hope you enjoyed this series and look forward to more upcoming episodes with polishing and ceramic coating. subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, folks. Now we've come to the end of the Maintenance Client series, and we hope you've enjoyed the travel. It's easier to keep the client's vehicle cleaned on a regular basis when it's seen like this. Coming up, we're going to have polishing, ceramic coating, and we're going to be out of town and on the road doing this. So until next time, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow, get the word out, and if you have any questions or anything you want to see more of, we'll have our contact information down below or throw it in the comments.